In 2018 and 2019, country music star Jimmie Allen shook the Billboard charts with back to back #1 hits. Now, the Delaware native is back with a new EP featuring a few of music's biggest legends. With a new 4-month-old baby and new music on the way, Jimmie joins us right now with a whole lot to be thankful for. Jimmie, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Good to see you again.
Man, it's good to see you too, man.
That's good. That's good. First and foremost, how are you? How's the family? How's everybody doing during this weird time?
Man, the family's good.
You're a
we're just
girl dad now?
yeah, girl dad. I had a boy. My son is 6. Now I got a little girl, 4-month old. So me and my fiance are adjusting to being the parents of a daughter. It's a completely different thing. It's a completely different ball game.
That's what
But
I was
it's
going to ask you. What's the differences between being a boy dad and a girl dad?
Man, being a boy dad, bro, it's kind of like you're like, all right, do your thing. Hey, do what you want to do. Being a girl dad, it's like every little thing. I'm like looking around, make sure it's all right. And I know as she gets older, I know one day she'll get a boyfriend, and that's what I'm taking my time to that. You know what I mean? Just her having a boyfriend and all that other stuff, and making sure boys got their minds in the right places. So
Right. Right, right. Well, let's get right into it, man. 2020 has been a very interesting year, at least, with the coronavirus and racism and a lot of things happening. But I really wanted to talk to you personally about the current state of social justice. As an African American that's in a predominantly, Southern white music genre,
hmm
how have you been feeling? How have you personally been dealing with stuff like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and the countless other African American lives that have been taken?
man, it bothered me. Like it messed me up for a while, man. That's why I uh I didn't post anything or say anything for a couple days, probably like 5 6 days, and had people on my socials like, Jimmy, when are you gonna say something about George Floyd? And it's like I wanted to say something, but at the same time, when I say something, I want it to be meaningful. You know what I mean? I feel like
Mm,
I'm in a position to where I can say something and people would listen, in my area of music. So I had to let people know I'm hurt. This is wrong. We got to change it because I'm definitely tired of seeing, you know, black people just killed, man. For just just the simplest things, man, that could easily been solved through a conversation or a simple handcuff put in the car. I got pulled over one time in Virginia when
mm.
I was headed to Delaware driving after Best Shot with #1. He's like, I stopped you. I was like, nah. He was just like real aggressive, like off the jump. Like, hey man, you got any weapons in your car? You got any drugs? I was like, nah, man. Like he was like, I need to search your car. I'm gonna have you get out the car right now. So dude starts pulling on the door handle, and I'm like, luckily, like this other officer pulls up and he says, hey, is everything okay over here? What's going on? And he looks at me. He said, wait, ain't you Jimmie Allen that sings Best Shot? I was like,
Mm,
yeah. He said, well, I'm gonna go talk to other guys. He talked to him, calmed him down. But my thing is, what if I wasn't Jimmie Allen that sung Best Shot?
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm like, I just, man, it bothered me. So I wanted to say something about how there is injustice, and if people don't see it, I feel like you're lying to yourself. It's there, you know.
Right.
But also at the same time, feel like I could say something and people would listen. We kind of have to we have to stay persistent as far as seeking uh, justice and equality as far as the way we're treated. And at the same time, my grandmother taught me I have to, in the midst of my frustration, once I say how I feel and how it affects me, be patient to allow people to process the information. Say you're raised in the South, right? You got no black friends in your life. Only time you see black people on TV, and you
Hmm.
have your family kind of telling you all the negative stereotypes about black people. When the world wakes them up to equality and social justice, they have to go back and unlearn everything they've been taught. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And to us, when we want the change, I want them to see it the way I see it right now. The reality is, man, it takes time. It's kind of like, my fiance, she'll have conversations with me, things that she's been sitting on for 5 weeks sometimes. And sometimes she expects me to have the same enthusiasm in my response as she does in her bringing it up. And I kind of use that to the same thing. And the same thing with, like, growing up, there's a lot of things in my denomination that I was taught. So I had to unlearn a lot of stuff I was taught. And in the process of unlearning it, I'm questioning, like, why did people even teach me this to begin with? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to let people know how I feel, but my delivery should be in a way to where it's not aggressive to the point where they don't listen. Because we want people to hear what we're saying, and we want change. And I feel like the way is to say how we feel, but kind of say it in a way to where they can process it. Because if someone doesn't see the world through your eyes and experience everything you experience, we can't expect them to just understand it right away. They actually have to see it. So, so that's kind of been my approach, and saying, look, man, black, like, I don't understand what the big issue is. People have saying Black Lives Matter. Do people that have an issue with them, like, do our lives not matter? Like, how? Like, if I said white lives matter, they're cool. Mexican lives matter. Native lives matter. White lives matter. Jamaican lives matter. You know what I mean? Dutch lives matter. But when you say Black lives matter, it's a problem. I'm like, why? Why is that a problem, man? And you figure it's taken from the natives. They're shoved off here. And then at the same time, you have, from the beginning, pretty much, of the U.S., slaves, to where blacks are, in the eyes of some people, beneath white people,
Right.
and white people sometimes, not all, but some feel they're above black people, and that's kind of how it's been. So when you have this mentality of people, and it's a generational thing that's taught, they're taught, hey, without even saying you're taught, like, because kids watch how you treat other people, and they see you treat certain people of a certain skin color beneath you. Guess what? They see that. So they also treat people that look like that beneath them. And that's the problem. We got to nip that in the bud and cut that out now. And I've seen a lot of, definitely not where we want to be, but there has been some positive change. And we can only hope to keep pushing forward. That way it's better for our kids and our children's children, and so on.
You're in a very unique position. A lot of hip hop artists or urban artists can get on their platform and speak out about social injustice, and not, of course you can too, but your demographic of people are artists that may not necessarily, jump right on what you're saying. And you have a lot of people that are racist, that they love black athletes, they love black entertainers, but they have these racist ideologies. And so my next question for you really deals with, when you're touring, the Confederate flag is a big symbol that is used throughout the South. And I'm sure it's in your face constantly, when you're moving through different venues.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with the flag, and how do you feel about these Confederate monuments that are coming down?
Man, it's good to see people taking a stand towards taking them down, because it's crazy how you have, when people want to take down something that has to do with the mistreatment of black people, there's an issue. But yet, if there was a Hitler statue up, that'd have been down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no question about it. That would have been down. But then I also wonder, why do people say that? Because that doesn't directly affect their history. I'm like, history or not, man, wrong is wrong and right is right, and that's just facts. And the crazy thing is, I've had some interesting experiences. I remember one time I was at a show, and this dude came up to me like, Jimmie, man, I loved your concert. I'm a huge fan. He quoting songs off my record. He said, can you sign my vest for me? I was like, yeah. I turn around. He turns around. His vest is a big old Confederate flag. Oh, I signed it. I signed right in the middle of it. Nice and big. Also have to keep the mindset of, some people, honestly, in their heart, don't see a problem with certain things that might affect me or you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's where you have to have to take into account, just because things don't affect you personally doesn't mean it's not wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the same thing with the whole Washington Redskins thing, man. My My great grandmother didn't let me watch no Redskins games in her house. Being Native American, there's some natives that don't have a problem with the term Redskin, but there's a lot that do. And she said, she said, to me, it's a derogatory term. She said, imagine if there's a team called the Washington Black Boys, Washington Blackies, Washington N-words. There would be a problem.
Facts.
But the thing is, so many feelings and how we treat natives has been suppressed over so many years. We've become numb and don't even think about it like that. You know what I mean? But just because you don't think about it doesn't mean it's not right. Imagine if there's a team around for 40 plus years called the Washington Blackies. My thing is, man, just trying to, again, be a balance between how it affects us as Black people, but also deliver it in a way to where people want to change and want to be better. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about change. And at some point, we got to take the approach to create that change. And I feel like it starts here and here. And if you can touch people here and here, you're good. So that's the balance I'm trying to take, because I want to see the change. And I could yell and curse people out, but they'll shut me off and won't listen. And I want to see a change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like you have to talk to the hearts of people, no matter how frustrating and time consuming it might be.
Have you had to deal with, people saying crazy stuff to you in meetings, all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah. Before I got my deal. So my label, BMG Broken Bow, is great, man. I love them. They're all about equality for everyone, no matter your sexual orientation, no matter your religious background, no matter your race. There's a guy for a certain record label before I got my deal. We sitting in the meeting, and this guy says, Jimmie, I like you, man. You're super cool for a Black guy. And I'm like, Then he proceeds to say, well, I like your music, but I'm not sure how our fans would feel about your people, or if your people would support you. I'm like, turn to the guy that's with me, I'm like, man, is it me or is this racist as hell? And he was like, it is racist. So I looked at the dude, I was like, man, I'm out of here, bro. Like, I could have snapped.
Right.
I could have snapped and said something. But again, our actions are a choice. No matter how mad and frustrated I wasn't going to let this guy's negative mentality, force me to say something or do something that would hinder me from reaching my goals.
Right.
And it was hard to bite my tongue. Not gonna lie. He's currently unemployed in the music business.
Okay. So, that's interesting, because moving forward, now with all this stuff that's happened this year, do you feel an obligation as a Black country artist to move differently when it comes to social justice? Not that you weren't already moving in a certain way, but do you feel like a special pull to make sure that you speak on these subjects in the future and kind of not let it be a one shot thing?
I have to, man. Like, you can't, with this job of being an artist and being a Black artist in country, man, it is my job, along with, Darius and Kane and Mickey Guyton and Cowboy Troy and Tony Jackson and Charlie Pride. He's done his thing. You know what I mean? To always be a positive representation of Black people, and also speak out when I see it, because whether I want to believe it or not, when something happens, people are looking to me to see how I'm going to move in a certain situation. And I can't just do nothing. I can't just say nothing. I don't think God put me in this situation to do nothing or say nothing. Like, I look at the way I was raised, which is interesting. A Black guy raised in a small country town in Lower Delaware, raised by a Black guy, my father, from that town. My dad was, not gonna lie, my daddy was redneck, man. Hunt, fish, country music, trucks. But my mom's from Oakland, California. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's from the Bay, bro. So
that's interesting.
So she even though I was raised in this bubble where, like, my three best friends growing up, one was Mexican, two were white, and everybody's parents disciplined all the kids. We used to go to each other's house and hang out. The officers in our neighborhood guys that didn't have fathers in their life, they'd pick those boys up, take them out, go play football with them. I realized that's not the reality of the rest of America. And my
Right.
mom, in the midst of telling me to treat everyone the same and equality, she always kept me woke to the reality that people would one day treat me different because of the way I look. Not knowing nothing about me, but because I have the skin complexion, some people might see me in a hoodie and sweatpants as a threat. Or, going to the store and I'm overly customer serviced. You know what I mean?
Sure. Right.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't experience any sort of racism until I moved down south. To me, the only time I saw it was on television or heard about it,
Wow.
but I never seen it. And the first time I experienced it, I was like, it wakes you up, man, because you can be in your bubble, get comfortable, think that's how everybody moves. Everybody don't move like that, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody don't move like that, man. And I feel like I had this one guy comment on my socials after the George Floyd thing. He was like, he is a black guy. He said, Jimmie, I need you to say something about our brother. And I need you to say it this way, this way. And I shot him a DM. I was like, I feel you, bro. And I'm hurt. I'm torn up about this. But I said at the same time, I'm going to express my frustrations and my concern. But at the same time, I want to see change. So because of the career I'm in, and the position I'm in, I have an ability to talk to people that listen to my music.
Right.
You know, that there's a lot of people that are unaware of their racism. You know what I mean? You have a lot of people that are just blatant with it, don't care. Then you got some people that they grew up just saying stuff, doing stuff, and since it's not affecting them or anybody they know, they got no clue. So it's my job to enlighten them on the current situation. Now, once I enlighten them, how they respond to how they move is on them. But it's my job to present them with, look, this is this. How you going to move after that? You know?
Facts, man. So let's get into this new EP, man. Dropping on Friday. Betty James. That's how it said, right? Betty James?
Yes, sir. I named it after my grandmom that died 2014, and my dad died last year, September 2019. I've always wanted to leave their legacy and the trail through my music. My grandmom, she was quiet, was an usher to church, but she was a fisherman as well. And she taught me a lot about being patient. My father was the one that taught me a lot about being yourself and taking risks. So I was taking a risk with this project with the different artists I wanted on it. And at the same time, I was patient in my creativity and writing the songs and finding the right artists for the right songs. Because other songs, so I wrote Made for These, the one with Tim McGraw. Co-wrote that one with my buddy Robin Riley. I co-wrote Freedom's a Highway that Brad Paisley's on. Why Things Happen, the one with Darius Rucker and Charlie Pride, which I'm super excited about that song, man. I didn't write Drunk and I Miss You, the one Mickey Guyton on. And I didn't write, what's it called? When This Is Over, the one with the Oak Ridge Boys, Torrin Wells, the Christian artist, and Rita Wilson. And then I co-wrote Good Times Roll with Nelly and my boy Zach Kale. So it was super important to me. Actually, next year I'm starting a festival in Milton, Delaware. You got this big old field calling it Betty James Fest.
Okay.
Hater sack races, tug of war, all that stuff. So we're gonna have that during the day, and I'm gonna judge a talent show from local artists, all genres of music, no matter what the genre is. We'll have submissions for that, and then at night, myself and another artist will put on the show. So we're gonna start that next year. So way to give back to where I'm from, and every Christmas, 2 days before Christmas, I do a concert, and I play it for free. They still pay my band and stuff, and we raise money for local elementary schools and local schools in Lower Delaware. Then we're gonna move to Northern Delaware, and I was able to just do a concert benefit this year actually for my boy Duffy Samuels from Duffy's Hope, because Duffy does a lot of good, bro.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Duffy.
Man. Shout out to Duffy, man. Duffy does a lot.
Yes, sir. So I had to ask you about this Nelly collaboration, man. Crazy song. But I wanted to know, I have never heard Nelly sing like this before. I've heard Nelly jump on country songs and I've heard him do what Nelly usually does. But I honestly on this track, I had to listen back a couple times and I realized he was really, really singing on this thing.
Nelly's a beast, bro. Like, I don't think people quite understand how talented this dude is, man. Like, he you can to me, he was the first. How you got a lot of hip hop artists sing rapping now. Nelly did it first. Like, if you go back and listen to all his other records, he was hitting y'all with that slick sing
Hmm.
rap thing for a minute, and he gets down, man. You know, and it was still. I remember sitting there writing with him. I'm sitting here like, I'm writing with Nelly. Like, I was like, this might not be a big deal to people, but it is a big deal for me. You know, growing up in Delaware, I remember being in Delaware, being in middle school, high school, and college, bumping Nelly, and to be in a room writing and creating with him, man, was awesome, man. So hats off to Nelly, man. I appreciate you for, taking the time to sit down and write with a dude you never met before, man. He's a real one for sure.
Yeah. And you got a lot of big names on this project. I mean, just name a few, but I had to ask you about Darius Rucker. You know, as a trailblazing black country music star himself, did he give you any personal advice or any conversations that you guys have been able to have on how to navigate?
Yeah, man, because you figured Darius, man, he was in one of the biggest rock bands of all time, Hootie and the Blowfish, so he took over the rock world and now the country world, man. He told me, be yourself. Don't let anyone dictate how you respond,
Mm,
what you do, what you say. Said no matter what you do, people are going to have opinions about it, but you have to be comfortable with yourself. You know what I mean? And that's my ultimate goal, bro. Is to let younger black people know that might want to do country, do it.
right.
Let younger black people know that might want to do, uh, rock or things that isn't a stereotype by society of what we should do, because we can't let society put us in the box as black people, say you can only do hip hop and R&B.
Right.
Nah, bro, nah, because the banjo came from South Africa. Figure
Yep.
country in the 20s, when it was a new genre, they had D4 Bailey, harmonica player, purposely play blues sounding riffs on country songs to give people something they were used to. You talk to a lot of older country artists, they were inspired and had black mentors. You know what I mean? Over the years, I feel like where the split happens, and country went from kind of bluesy to more Western, no social media, none of that. So when if you're in a black household,
Hmm.
90% of the time you listen to Motown.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? In a white household, you listen to country western. But black kids back then had no idea there's a black guy by the name of Charlie Pride in Colorado killing the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just want people to be able, man, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, do what you want to do, you know? Uh and that's why I'm hoping before Charlie Pride dies, man, that NAACP and BET Awards give him some sort of lifetime achievement award. Like, this dude was getting number ones in country music when they were still publicly hosing and lynching black people in the street.
Mm.
And I feel like, that's our brother, man. That's the father, the black father of country music. We should definitely give him his roses while he can still smell them. That's why it was so important for me to do a song with him and do a song with Darius. I remember being a kid wanting to do a song with both of them, and
Wow.
it actually happened, which is
Yeah.
which is crazy, man.
That had to have been a surreal moment for you, man, when you sat and thought
Man,
about it.
it was so surreal, man. I have like a dream list of people I want to work with and songs I want to do.
Knocking them
Uh,
out.
bro, I I was like, man, I would love to have a song produced by Timbaland with Usher on it, Snoop, I think that would be crazy, bro. So I'm gonna keep pushing.
I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem.
He was my coach in a celebrity basketball game at a Monsters 50K celebrity basketball game. I was on. It was Team Gronk versus Team Floyd, and I was on Gronk's team. And Snoop and Kyle Kuzma was one of our coaches. And I even told him, was in layup line. I was like, "Oh, what up, Snoop?" He's like, "What up, nephew?" I said, "Bro, we got to do a song together." I said, I was like, "I got a song called, Best Shot, whatever." He said, "I know who you are." I was like, "I'm gonna have my people get up with your people. I got a song already. I just need you to drop a hot 16, a hot 8. I'll take a hot 2 bars.
Hey.
Whatever. Just breathe on the track so I can say featuring Snoop Dogg."
Yes, sir. What you're doing right now, I can't see it not happening. You feel me?
Oh, who else? Man.
So I had to ask you, I know you were talking about your music label and how, they're very inclusive of a lot of different people and backgrounds. And I had to ask you about Lil Nas X. How do how's his impact coming into the game? Do you have any thoughts on him?
Man, I like Lil Nas, man. I got a chance to meet him. And what I love, what he did, what people don't quite realize what he did was he unintentionally woke people up to the idea of starting a conversation about what's country, what's not country. You know what I mean? He definitely put a lot of people on that didn't listen to country music to country music. And a lot of people that didn't listen to hip hop, dabbled over there, man. So I appreciate what he did, man. And it's one of them things, again, as an artist, you create songs you love. And and hopefully in the midst of that, you find people that love what you do. So I dig Lil Nas, man. Old Town Road I thought was fire.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's super catchy. Yeah, man, I'm a fan. There's another dude, Breland. You heard of Breland?
No.
Breland got this song called Don't Touch My Truck. Black dude from Atlanta.
Okay.
It's like a country hip hop type thing. He even got Sam Hunt on it. It's dope.
Okay. Word, man. Well, Jimmie, bro, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. You got Betty James coming out Friday. Let them know.
Betty James, my collaboration project with so many great artists, coming out Friday. Check it out. Yeah, man, I'll definitely see y'all around. I've been going to the Soul Train Awards. Like Tisha Campbell actually reached out to me about a year and a half, 2 years ago. DM me, was like, "Yo, I love your music. I'm hosting Soul Train Awards. Would love for you to come out. I would love for you to meet people. Would love for them to see you." So shout out to Tisha, man. So I was planning on going to the BET Awards this year if it would have been in person, but I'll be there next year. Just because I do country don't mean I can't go. Like BET stands for Black Entertainment Television.
Facts, man.
They
appreciate
don't
it.
Say nothing about genres. So
Jimmie, my Delaware brother, we appreciate you. Listen, I'm coming for that fishing trip soon. We're gonna get out there, catch some tuna.
I'll be in Delaware about 2 weeks.
Hey, let me know, man. I'll make that trip.
My man.
Good seeing you, brother.
All right, bro.